Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my first video, so please tolerate me and support me. This is Omegaverse story. Yes, this story is a little boring in the beginning, but in the future it will take a good form and I hope you all like it. Let me clear one thing, I'm not going to read this story, I'm going to explain this story in simple language. If you like to read by yourself, link in description. If you like Hindi explanation, link in description. And don't forget to share and subscribe because I need your support. Rotate screen, lock screen and enjoy. The main character of this story, who is Omega, says that imprints an abnormal trait that stays with you until you die. A slow and shameful suicide. Ever since I have been imprinted on me, my only wish has been to break my imprint and escape from my shameful death. He raised his hand. In front of him, he can see a face. He touched it. He touched the mirror, and in the mirror was his own face. Looking into his own eyes, he says, "But I'm still being deceived towards my impending death." What he meant to say is that he wants to make his death easier by breaking this curse of imprinting, but he is deceiving himself because it's impossible. This is the royal palace of Weisted. In the early morning, there are chaos in the palace, made by Prince Butler. Butler says, "Your Highness, may I suggest you to wear your crown today? I know you don't like these things especially, but today is New Year and this is for New Year party." Prince says, "No, forget the crown. I'm Prince, but I'm not perfect. So keep these types of things, the adornments, at minimum." Butler says, "What nonsense are you speaking? We have not even started yet." This is not an ordinary formal party. This is the New Year's party, the biggest and most important of all. And you are going so insignificant. If you dressed like this, then no one will believe that you are Prince. Butler even cried, but the prince did not agree. Prince says, "Is it just my face is not sufficient? My face is not enough?
Wow!
Does not everyone have the common sense that I am the most precious gem in all of them? Prince is shining like a diamond and Butler can't even keep his eyes open." Butler says, yes, you are. Of course you are. How could I say you are not? Okay, at least wear a necklace. I beg you. Please, please. Prince says, "Alright, just necklace. Bring it quickly." Butler quickly brings the necklace and wait, where is Prince? He fooled Butler. Well, Butler, think about it. Who would like to wear this necklace? At the party, a count was sitting near the prince and says, "Your Highness, you are looking very beautiful even in your simple attire. And without jewelry and adornments, you look more mature and intelligent. And look at me, I'm looking like a child, so boyish." Without giving any reaction, the prince says in his mind, "Hey, Joker, who asked you to come and give me your opinion on my appearance? Alpha bastard. I wish I could gouge and squeeze his eyes out." The count, unaware of all these thoughts of Prince, was laughing and says, "My eyes opened wide after seeing the new wonders." Prince says in sarcastic way, "Let's not talk about discovering new wonders." Prince suddenly stopped talking when he feels presence of someone. The man placed his hand on his shoulder and says, "Your Highness, I thought you would be alone here. I expected you to come and find me." The man touched his face and then held his face Prince says in his mind. Bastard. Trying to turn his face towards himself, the man says, Your Highness, please, for a moment, look at me. The prince slapped his hand and says, Oh, you are here, Duke Andreas. Duke says, Would you mind telling me that? What were you and Count Belto discussing? By the way, are you aware that the Count is an alpha? The Count was scared, but the prince, without any fear, says, I know. And in mind, he says, I'm aware, and all alphas are fools for me from the moment you imprinted on me. Andrew says, You were aware of it, and you still continued the conversation in my absence. Prince says, So, do you mean to say that the Count will release his pheromones to overcome me with lust? Answer, Count. Do you dare to disrespect the royal family by committing such a heinous act? Count was already scared, and he says nervously, All these things are nonsense. I can't even dare to think to disrespect you. Prince says, To tell you the truth, I agree with you. I never felt any deceit in your mind. But anyway, the regent feels that our discussion was not appropriate. Duke Andreas say, Your Highness, today your behavior is especially like a rose, lovely and beautiful, but with thorns as well. Prince says, Duke, your behavior today is especially foolish. How can you behave so despicably in my presence like this? Duke grabs his shoulder tightly and whispers in his ear, This kind of behavior does not suit you. Then stop this misbehavior, otherwise how will you tolerate my anger later in bedchamber? Prince gets irritated. Despite the threat, he says, Remove your hand from my shoulder. If you ever again touch me without my consent, I will cut off your hands. Andreas does not let go his shoulder, but holds tightly. Prince angrily turns his face towards Andreas, and Andreas was also glaring angrily at Prince. Due to this behavior of both of them, a lot of gossip and discussion starts among the people. Andreas says, There are an abundance of spectators, so I shall leave for now. Andreas scoffs and whispers to Prince, I will see you later. He leaves, and Prince was looking at him. And suddenly Count points his finger and says, Look, Your Highness, the alpha among the rumors. The prince looks towards the direction where the Count had pointed his finger. Many people were standing there. So Prince asks, Are you talking about tallest one? Count says, Yes. Actually, Your Highness, I'm not sure, but I have observed the behavior of people and they are so interested in him. Maybe he is the alpha of the rumors. The prince asks, And what rumors are you talking about? Count says, Don't you know? According to the rumors, this alpha claims that he knows how to break imprints. After hearing that, Prince's eyes were fixed on that man. Prince says, Break the imprints. Prince was looking at him, and suddenly that man also looks towards the prince and their eyes met each other. The prince says in his mind, That's him, the one who will free me from my impending death. This is the Omega Prince who is successor of the throne after the death of his father. This is Alpha Duke taking advantage of Prince's heat he imprint on Prince. After imprinting, he is taking the entire kingdom under his control. It is a normal thinking of an alpha dominate society. No matter how much higher position Omega have, Omegas are always under their alpha. So everyone believes that the prince is Omega, so he is just a puppet of his alpha. This is a foreign businessman alpha who claims that he knows how to break the imprints. The imprints, which is impossible to break. But whether it will be able to break the imprints or not, we will find out in the upcoming parts. Well, I think you all might know it, but still, I'm going to explain for them who don't know. This story is based on the Omega verse, in which are some important points. There is first gender. There is three gender: Omega, Alpha, and Beta. And after they divided in male females. So total 6 gender, but main point is Omega can conceive. Omega can become mother, Alpha can become a father, and Beta can be presented in different ways in different stories. Point 2. Pheromones. Pheromones are very strong smell which Omega and Alpha can release. Because of pheromones, they feel very attracted towards each other. So they use pheromone to attract Omega or Alpha for mating. Betas don't have any pheromones and pheromone does not affect them. Point 3. Imprinting or marking. This is a bond that forms between them when the Alpha bites the Omega. In imprinting, the Omega is more affected than the Alpha. Without his imprinted Alpha, he cannot have a love relationship with any other Alpha. But without imprinting, Omega can marry anyone of his own free will. Point 4. Heat or rut. During heat or rut, they cannot control their pheromones and their sexual desires. Point 5 is bonding. If this point rise, I will explain it. And last, it took me 3 days to make this part, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and thanks for watching.